Have you ever really looked at a wine label? I mean, beyond the picture of a stately chateau or a cheeky hippo, you'd be amazed by how much you can learn if you just take a minute to peruse the label. Hi everyone, I'm Jackie Blisson, and today we're going to learn how to read a wine label. The first thing you're going to look for is the brand or estate name. This is going to be useful, obviously, if you like the wine and you're looking for it again in a wine store. Next, you might find the grape variety. This could be on the front or the back label, and some old world origins like Chianti, for example, or the Rhone don't tend to list the grape on the label. In Europe, if a grape is listed one single grape, it means that 85% of the wine is of that grape, and the other 15% can come from other grapes making up a blend. In the States, only 75% of the wine has to be of the grape variety if a single variety is listed. Next, you're likely to find the vintage written somewhere on the label, and this is important for a number of reasons. Especially in cooler climates, vintages can vary quite a lot depending on the weather during the growing season. In cooler growing seasons, you tend to get more tart fruit flavors and higher acid. In warmer growing season, the wines tend to be a little fleshier, a little riper, and a little fuller. When it comes to more affordable everyday wines, the vintage is going to be important because these wines are made to be drunk young and fresh. So for white and rosé wines, look for a recent bottling within sort of 18 months of the vintage. And for red wines, you could maybe push it to about 3 years. Next, you're likely to find an indication of the origin of the wine. And this can be as wide as a large region like California or Bordeaux, or it can be as specific as a single vineyard parcel. Generally, the more site-specific the appellation or origin written on the wine, the better quality the wine. If you see terms like Premier Cru or Grand Cru or Grosse Lager or Classico, for example, these are indications of superior single vineyard sites. You may also find other quality designations on the bottle. Each region, each country, especially in Europe, has their own set of terms to denote superior quality wines. Terms like, for example, on this Rioja here, Reserva, or Gran Reserva, or Superiore in Italy, Smaragd in Austria. These are all terms that are used to denote wines that come from better vineyard sites, have riper fruit, and tend to be aged for longer in the winery. This can all be a little bit confusing, so I'm going to go into greater detail about quality designations and appellation specifications in later region-specific videos. There are also some very vague terms that wineries love to throw on their labels. A few of the most notorious of these include old vines and reserve or prestige cuvée. Older vines tend to give a lower yield of more concentrated, flavorful grapes. So they do tend to be of higher quality. It depends on the grape, but in general terms, an older vine is one that's reached at least 25 or 30 years old. Unfortunately, there is no set legal definition for how old a vine needs to be in order to use the term on a label. So if you see a wine with old vines on the label, you really don't know if the vines are merely teenagers or fully mature adults. Good tip, if you see a wine that's under sort of $15 with old vines written on the label, I would be a little bit suspicious. The words reserve and prestige can also be pretty meaningless. It's meant to denote a step up in quality from a producer's most basic level, which is definitely the case with the Family Perrin Côte du Rhône Reserve here. But for a lot of producers, the Reserve cuvée is only about $1 difference from the regular wine. Unfortunately, for a lot of wineries, the words are just marketing hype. You're also going to find the alcohol percentage by volume on the label, and this is important because it'll tell you about the body of a wine. A lower alcohol wine tends to be lighter in body, and a higher alcohol wine fuller. And finally, on the back label, you might find some health and dietary information like contains sulfites. So yes, most wines do contain sulfites naturally and added sulfur to protect against oxidation and microbial spoilage. Don't be alarmed though, the level of sulfur used in wine is well within health and safety norms. It's far lower than flavored yogurt or dried fruit, for example. And, contrary to popular belief, wine sulfites do not cause headaches. You might also see a mention that says suitable for vegetarians or vegans. This is because a substance can sometimes be added to wine to clarify it, to remove sediments, and sometimes to soften tannins. These are called fining agents, and they can include things like milk products, egg whites, isinglass. So if suitable for vegans is written, it means that none of these products have been used, and the wine, if it has been fined with a bentonite clay. There's all sorts of other wonderful things you can find on certain labels, like serving suggestions, service temperatures, and whatnot, but I think I've covered the essential things. So good luck with your next wine buying trip. Maybe you'll look at the label a little more closely. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Share this video widely. Give me a little thumbs up if you liked it or a comment. And until next time, santé!